Hello everyone, good morning and welcome to the class. Can you all see the screen and hear me?
Yes,
Am
please.
I audible?
Yes,
Yeah.
please.
Good morning.
Good morning everyone. I believe you all can see the screen and hear me. If any issues in the video part or the audio part, please check your network connections from your end so that we'll not have any interruptions in between. So today we'll get started with the version control system. We will take up from the basics. Okay, some of you might be already working with some version control systems, or some of you might be new. Some of you might be like a different version control systems you might be using. Like here, we'll be learning about Git. So we will talk about this version control system from basics, including the architecture of Git, everything in detail, and we'll proceed, right?
Yes.
So let's get started. So what is a version control system? How many of you are using this version control system? What is it actually? How many of you are using the version control system?
Yeah, I'm using it.
So which version control system are you using?
GitHub.
GitHub is not a version control system. You mean Git? Were you using Git?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. That's all. No one else?
AWS code commit.
Okay, AWS code commit. May I know who is this?
My name is Kiran. Prithvi.
Okay. Okay, AWS code commit, and that's all. Okay, if you're not using, but still, how many of you know version control systems?
Yeah, Git and Bitbucket,
Okay.
and I have a little bit idea on Git. We need to
Sorry?
we need to create repositories, and the repositories will be pushed, and we'll be getting those codes. Whatever the developers push the code, we'll be getting from that.
Right. So yeah, okay, some of you are using the something or the other version control system, or some of you are completely new to version control system. So can I consider that? How many
Yes.
of you are
Yes.
new to version control systems? Let me ask this way. How many of you are new?
Hello.
Yes. Hi.
Hi, Preeti. This is Suneet here. I just joined your class today, first day.
Mm-hmm. Thank you for
So,
joining.
yeah, I have not attended your demo class. So, will it be okay? I mean, will I be able to understand the topic?
Yeah, yesterday, like the demo session where I have given some overview about what is DevOps, the agenda of the course and all, it's available on YouTube in my channel. It's available for public, so you can also watch it.
Okay.
No
Thank.
worries to attend the session today. Today I'm picking up a new topic.
Okay, Preeti. Thank you.
Right? Just give me a second. All right, so let's talk about a version control system. See, version control system is something which can help us manage our files. Means, see, we might be having some code base, right? Or else we might be having some configuration files. All of them can be version controlled. But still, what is meant by that, isn't it? So let's talk about this version control systems in detail. I'm sharing a blank screen for you. Can you all see the screen? right?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So to understand the concept of version control system, let's take up a simple scenario. Let's say in a team, there are multiple people working, right? Let's say it's a DevOps team. Okay, multiple people are working in this team, and there is some project. There are some project files. Let's say this is some remote folder or shared folder where everyone is placing their code changes here. So let's say there is some file one. Okay, there are two DevOps persons. DevOps person A and DevOps person B. Yes?
Like your version control system opening slide is visible.
Yeah, madam. Only version control system opening slide is visible.
Okay, you are not seeing the blank screen?
No.
No.
Okay,
No.
just a second. Can you see now?
No.
Now?
Now.
No. Yes. Yes.
Now it's visible.
Visible.
Okay. Now is it visible?
Yes.
Yes, Preeti.
Okay, there is
it's
some
visible.
problem sharing the screen. Just a second.
Now, yeah.
Okay.
Now black screen. Yeah, we can able to see.
All right. So let's say there is some remote folder shared across the team members. Okay, there is some file. There are some couple of files like file 1, file 2, and all. There are two DevOps person A, person B. Okay, working or making changes on those files. Let's say on day 1, okay, this person A got this file to his local computer, and he made some changes to this file. Right? He made some changes to this file. At the same time, B also got the file. Means let's say both of them got this file to their local computer at the same time. So A made some changes and also B made some changes. Let's say on day 2, A kept the file back, right? On day 3, after A kept the file, the next day B kept the file back, okay, with his changes. So now tell me the file 1 on this remote location, okay, on this remote folder or shared folder, whatever you say, right? So the file 1 will have which person changes in this case?
B.
Person B changes, right? Simple logic.
Yeah.
Here I'm talking about without version control system. What happens? Person B changes will override person A changes, correct? He doesn't know that he is doing it. A does not know that his changes are being overwritten. No one knows that. They were just working on their own, like they from their end, who they were making some changes, putting the changes back. So if this keep on going, let's say there were some 30 people, right? Sorry, in a team, let's say there were some 10 people, right? So if this keep on continuing, project goes corrupted, correct? Yes, project gets messed up, right? The changes may be lost, the changes may be overwritten, the other person doesn't know this. Just keep on continuing. So how to eliminate this? How to handle this scenario? Meaning there might be some files or changes where people might be working simultaneously, parallelly within a team itself, right? So how to protect the files from being overwritten by some other person in the project? Yeah, means there should be a system which can handle this. Means we need a system which can handle the changes when people are making changes simultaneously or parallelly, or else let's say how to allow people to collaborate well within the team first, right? That's what version control system does. This is without version control system, but if we use version control systems, one person changes will not override the other person changes. This will be taken care by the system. How and all we will discuss, right? Like how this can be handled and all. So this is one scenario, how it like why version control systems can be used. See here, remember one thing. These files could be any files. They might be program files like that, Java files, .NET files, PHP files, whatever it is. Or else, see, if it is a development team, if it is being used by developers, yes, there might be some program files. Let's say it's a DevOps team. Yes, we have some Terraform config files, Kubernetes config files, some script files, whatever it is. Basically, Git will be used by anyone in the company. Like our developers should know Git, Testers should know it, DevOps teams should know it, everyone should learn Git. The reason is everyone will have their own project files, right? Their own project configuration files, even testers write code to test the application. So all those files, any static files for that matter, can be version controlled, right? So everyone should learn Git from the perspective of managing them, maintaining them. So first thing is, yes, it will not allow people like one person changes being overwritten by other. It will help people to collaborate well, to work simultaneously, to work parallelly on the system. That's one thing. And the next thing is, let's say, okay, we have some file one. Okay, it's a version 1 of the file. It was doing good. Client came with some modifications on the file and they want to make it version 2 with those modifications. Let's suppose I have edited the existing version 1 and made version 2. I have modified the same thing. Okay, now I have version 2. I don't have version 1, fine. But after some days, let's say version 2 is not doing good. Client just want to go back with the previous version. So I have to do rework, isn't it? Because I have edited the same thing, I have to rework and bring the old changes back. Correct? Which is not a great thing, or which is not the process, right? Doing a lot of rework. So what we have to do, maintain backups, maintain versions, right? We need to maintain the backups of the code, maintain the version. Means don't edit this version 1, make another version 2. Correct?
Yeah.
So this is one thing, like how will you maintain the version? See, developers or DevOps teams or testers, they will be concentrating on writing their scripts or writing their code, managing their config files. They cannot concentrate and see if my changes are being overwritten by someone else, or else should I take backup. They cannot concentrate on all these things, and they cannot do this manually without any system. Correct? So that's where version control system comes in, which can help you have backup of your code, which can help people work parallelly, which can also maintain, like we discussed, you can consider this like backup of the code or maintain versions of the code. You maintain both the versions whenever you want like whichever version you can choose it. Correct? So this is one thing. And the other thing is, let's say, okay, till now application is working fine. Okay, at 7:40 or like at 7:30 something went wrong, application got crashed, business is going down. Immediately we need to remove those changes whichever made recently. How do I know which person made what changes at what time, to revert quickly, to remove them quickly, like let's say to discard them quickly? We didn't get into Git, so I'll not use technical terms of Git for now. Once we learn, then only I'll use it. So let's say I want to discard those changes, remove those changes. So how to do that again? See, we need a system again which provides with a detailed logging, correct? Like let's say person A made changes to file 1 on line number 7 at 7:25 or 7, let's say 7:15, which led to this crash of the application. Something went wrong with this, right? So I need a system which will provide this kind of detailed logging so that I know which person made the changes, and I will go to this file and discard those changes so that the system application will come back without impacting the business. Correct? So I need a system which will provide detailed logging. That's what again version control system does, right? These are all the advantages of version control system. It's a best practice, and for developers till now it's mandatory, but nowadays for modern projects everyone should use it, because like DevOps teams will have so many config files, Kubernetes files, Ansible playbooks, Terraform files, any script files, configuration files, Jenkins pipeline, Jenkins files, even all of them should be version controlled. So it is mandatory for anyone, even you are a developer or a tester, right? Whoever you are, learning version control system is very important, and this is the purpose of it. And understand, those files could be any files, right? You did not worry how to manage Java files or .NET files. They could be any static files, can be version controlled. Clear? So this is what version control system does. If you are clear with it, we'll talk about how many types of version control systems are. Good to go. Any questions here? Following everyone?
Yes, yes.
Preeti, if you don't mind, there is a network glitch from my side. Could you please briefly overview within 50 seconds or 1 minute, I understood
uh,
this. I understood this. Like quickly overview, like within 30
Sure,
seconds.
Kiran. I'm just talking about what is a version control system, right? Just giving an intro to version control system. Version control system is nothing but which will help people work parallelly, simultaneously on the same files. There might be huge number of people in the team. They want to work on the same file. Okay. So version control system helps you do that. It will not overwrite changes done by one person. It will also help you have backup of your code, maintain versions of your code, and also it helps in logging, right? So that's what version control system does.
Yeah,
It's just
understood.
talking about these three things. So now, depending on their architecture, they were categorized. So based on the architecture version control system, they were categorized as centralized version control systems and distributed version control systems. So what is this? Let's talk about their architecture. So we have understood what is a version control system. So now let's talk about the types. First, let's talk about the centralized version controls. Are you seeing this presentation?
Yes, yes.
Right. So if you look into the centralized version control system, there will be a central repository or remote repository, okay, where all the project, all the code base will be kept. And if you see here, working copy, this is the workstation of each individual user or collaborator. Here user, I mean the Git user, let's say developer or DevOps person or tester, whoever it is, right? So these are the workstations of each individual collaborator. So they will connect to this remote repository, or you may call it a central repository. They'll connect to it. Okay, get the code from this remote repository to their local computer, make changes there, and put it back. Right? So this is how centralized version control system works. So you may think that, yeah, it's very simple, it's all good, right? But there were challenges with this type of centralized version control. The first main drawback would be to make changes and to work with it. Each time they need to connect with that remote server or central server, which needs network connectivity. Let's suppose network disconnected, right? The entire work goes into halt. You can't keep continuing your work, right? Work will be paused there. You need network connection always to work with this kind of system. Second thing is, let's suppose the central server crashed itself. Something went wrong, the central server crashed. That's all right. It works like a single source of truth. All the code base is kept here. There's no other backup and all. So if something went wrong here, there is no chance of, or chances of recovery are very less. Yeah. So every time you need network connection, you need to connect to the system remote server and get the code, make changes and put it back. Always you need network connection to continue your work. Also chance of recovery are less when compared with this. And also these kind of systems are slow when compared with the distributed version control systems, because like I said, you need to connect to the remote server and do the work always. These are the drawbacks of this kind of centralized version control system. And what are the version control system which are of this type, which are having this type of architecture? SVN, TFS, clear case, all of this comes under centralized version control systems, right? So how to overcome these challenges? See, nowadays in the modern projects, particularly where we are implementing DevOps, for all the modern projects, we were preferring distributed architecture. So how is this different? See here. If you see clearly, there is a central server here, central server or remote server, whatever you call it, right? All the project code base is kept here. And this is the workstation or local computer of each user, right? DevOps person 1, DevOps person 2. This is the local computer of each person, let's say. And how they work? They will get the copy from the remote, okay, from remote repository. They'll do the pull and get the complete copy. Then this is called local repository. Means in distributed architecture, there'll be two repositories called local repository and remote repository or central repository. Right, they'll get a copy to their system, their local computer, make the changes here and push it back. Again, see, to be more specific, they don't directly make changes here. They will again make changes in another copy called working directory or working copy. Means, let's say some other directory where they make changes. From that particular directory in their computer, they'll push the changes to local. From local, they'll push the changes to remote once completed. Right, means what is happening? There are two repositories, remote and local. First thing is they don't need network connections always. Okay, they need network connections only to pull and push. Pull and push happens less frequently when compared with other changes. Because see, I pull the code once in a while. Like let's say I'll pull the code today. I make all my changes today and tomorrow. Then of course I should always get the latest. That's a different thing. But I will pull the code once in a while. Then I make changes here, then push the code. Push the code also less frequent. Push and pull to remote are less frequent when compared with the changes. Actual changes are happening in my local system, if you observe here, right? So network connections are not always needed. You need it only to push or pull, right? So network, even though network connection is disconnected, you can still continue work in your local. So that's how it eliminates the first drawback. Second drawback, let's say for some reasons the central server is crashed or gone. Still chances of recovery are more because every person is having a copy of the remote repository. Correct? Chances of recovery are more. And also it works faster because see, majority of the work is happening on the local computer where you need to access just your hard disk, that's all, right? So that's how it eliminates the drawbacks of the centralized version control system. Majority of the work happens here. Once your complete work is done, you will push to remote. Until you push your changes to remote, let's say you made some changes here. They are confined only to you. Others can't see the changes. Only when you push the changes, others can see your changes or your changes will be visible to other team members. Am I clear with the distributed architecture?
Yeah, Preeti,
Yes.
I have a question. For a developer one, if I'm doing some changes and doing the push to remote server, let's say, developer two also made some change meantime, then how the code merge will happen? I mean, in the remote server, how the code merge will happen on the same file?
Okay, see, first thing I want to tell is multiple people can work on it, but one person changes will not overwrite others. We discussed that as a feature of version control system, right? So either it is centralized version control system or either it is distributed version control system, one person changes will not overwrite other person changes, right? That will be handled. But how? Yes, we are going to see implement those scenarios. Okay, we are going to start the hands-on. We'll execute those scenarios rather than explaining how theoretically. Let's do the scenarios.
Okay.
Right, we'll do hands-on. But remember, yes, it will be handled by the version control system.
Okay. So even
Clear?
if it is version control, I mean, generally the version control will not override uh, any others. I mean, a developer one code with a developer two code,
Correct.
not like that. Okay.
Correct. That's what version control is. Otherwise, we don't need it at all. Means what it will do is, in simple, it will inform us like so and so person changes are overriding yours. Do you want to proceed, or like you will get an alert, you will get the notifications to handle it. How exactly we'll see with the hands-on. Yes.
Okay.
Otherwise, we don't need a version control system, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So this is the architecture clear for both centralized and distributed?
Yes, Preeti.
Right. So if you have any questions, you can ask me, okay, or else you can confirm me through chat window, or else you can unmute and speak out. Please be interactive so that I know and like we can interact better. Okay, so this is the distributed versions control system. So which tools falls under this category? Are there any tools which falls under this category? There were tools which falls under this category, particularly Git. Git falls under distributed version control system. Git causals comes under distributed architecture. We'll be learning Git in this course, and Git is very widely used. When you see in the project, it is very widely used nowadays, and it's a market leader, I can say. That's the reason we are learning it. Master and expertise Git. If you know Git, yes, you can work with any other tools like SVN or Fossils or anything else. So master one tool in each category. The version control systems, master Git. See, this is the graph. This is a graph from Google Trends. This is, of course, graph from 2020. You can get the latest graph of 2023 also. Here you can see Git, the blue lines are for Git. You can see, right? There is no competitor for Git, you can see. Git, SV, and TFS fossils were compared. Okay. And yeah, now that we understood the architecture of version control systems in general, every version control system will fall into either of these two categories. Then let's talk about the architecture of Git in particular. It follows the same, but the terminology, the layers may be different. So let's talk about the architecture of Git now. See, like we learned, there were two repositories in Git, remote repository, local repository. Remote repository resides on like a remote location. Let's say this is on my local computer. Okay. Now, everyone, can you hear me? Am I audible? Any network issues from
No,
my
Preeti.
end?
No,
Your
no, it's
voice is
fine.
clear.
No, you're audible.
Okay. Whoever having any network issues, please check from your end. Okay, try to rejoin this. Okay, so let's talk about the architecture. Yeah, there is a remote repository and the local repository. And there could be scenarios like, let's say, first scenario, let's suppose, okay, I joined a project. Okay, this project is an old project. It's a, let's say, a 2-year-old project. I joined the team now. Now I want to make some changes. So I can get a copy of the repository from remote, right? So which is nothing but pull. I can just, I mean, first we'll do clone, of course, but let's say, okay, I'm just getting a copy of this remote to my local computer, which is a local repository, right? So I'll get a copy here to my local computer. Now, okay, I want to make some changes to some files. I will not directly make changes on this local, rather I'll make changes in some working directory. Working directory, you can imagine it's like some other folder or a directory. If you are Windows person, yeah, it's a folder. Okay, in Linux, we call them as directories. So just it's another directory. I will make changes here. Okay, after making changes, how do you move your changes to local? See, you cannot directly move your changes this way. You cannot do this directly from working directory to local. No, this is not possible. Then what you have to do? First, you have to move your changes to something called staging area. Staging area, okay, this is also called as index area, which is nothing but a virtual layer. See, imagine this is a folder, okay? The working directory is a folder. Staging area is again like a folder, but it's a virtual layer kind of. First, you need to move your changes to staging area. From staging area, you have to move your changes to local. Once you move your changes to local, then only you can move your changes to remote. Means if you see, it's like a 3 steps before you move your changes to remote. Working directory to staging area to local, local area to remote. It's not straight away from here, you'll push the changes here and so on. No, right? This is how you have to push your changes. And you may be having a question, what is the staging area? Like why we should move this? Basically, this is the architecture of Git. And yes, every layer has got its importance. Staging area or this index area is a virtual layer. The importance is that it is like a preview. It provides you a preview or a pre-check before your changes moves to local. It works like a preview or a kind of pre-check. Means, let me give you an example. Suppose, see, I have some 10 files in my working directory, which I have to, or else which I'm working on. But only 5 files were completed. I'm done with 5 files only. Changes on 5 files were done. I want to move only those files to local, correct? So I'll move only those 5 files to staging area, right? Then when I do a commit, these are all the commands, okay? We will learn the respective commands for each task separately. Okay, whatever be the command. So once I have in the staging area, when I run git commit, all of them will be moved to local, right? So it's like a preview or a pre-check before your changes moves to local repository. You can control, this helps you control which files should go to local, which files not, how to handle them, how to control them. That will be taken care, or that will, the staging area will help you achieve it. Am I making sense? Clear? Yeah. So just imagine there will be 3 folders in your local system: working directory, staging area, local repository. First, you make changes in your working directory, move your changes to staging area, then to your local, and from local to remote. This is the simple architecture of Git. This is the use case where it's old project. Okay, it's old project. I joined the team now, so I'll create a copy. I'll get a copy from remote to my system and continue the work. Another use case might be, let's say it was a new project, there's nothing on remote. Okay, what you will do, you will create this local repository manually. This local repository, meaning local repository basically can be created in 2 ways. Okay, the use cases are like, one is if it's old project, you can get a copy from remote and create a local. That's one method. Another method is there's nothing on remote. You create a local repository manually, then push it to remote. Understood the 2 use cases, how local repository is created? Everyone, every participant, I need a confirmation from you. Clear for all of you?
Yes.
Yes.
Preeti, can you please repeat the one for the new project?
New project, I mean, is it was a new project. It was a new team. There is nothing on remote. Okay, it's a new project. We were designing DevOps now. Okay, there were no DevOps files, nothing. We were just designing and starting up. There's nothing on remote repository now, right? So we need to develop it from scratch. So there is no remote repository. How do I create local? I cannot copy from remote because there's nothing on remote. So I can create local repository manually in my system. Means those are the 2 ways or 2 use cases, like how you can create your local repository.
Correct.
Got it?
Got it.
So create a local repository, develop your files, changes here, then push to remote, then you will get a remote repository.
Okay.
So working directory, staging area, local repository, this concept is very important. See, don't worry, I'll show you all of this practically. Okay, first I'm explaining you the concept, then we will see all of this, whatever we are speaking on the hands-on in the next few minutes. So yeah, this is a local repository. Here, if you have understood till this much, let me tell you a very interesting thing.
Preeti.
Yes.
So in the second scenario, right, if there is no project created, right, new project, so we are creating local repository, correct? So there won't be any name, any project created by that name in the remote, like
we have to create it and we have to push it. Automatically there will not be. You have to create it. Someone, old project means someone else have created. What I'm saying here is use cases could be like there might be already a remote repository. You may have to clone it, means copy it, make a local repository, make changes, updates there, push it. That could be one use case. Another use case is it was completely new. You may have to create on your own local repository then push to remote.
In that,
then again it works
yeah,
like
in the case in the remote repository there is no project at all, or it is we have to create new project there.
See, let's say there was no project files. Project in the sense, let's say okay, they were implementing Terraform newly. Okay, they were not using Terraform till now. So I'll create a separate repo for Terraform. Clear now?
Yeah, okay.
Okay, I'll create a separate repository to manage our Terraform files. Right?
Preeti, when it comes to whole project, after pulling the file, it will directly go to a working directory. And then
no, local repository. See this arrow. Local repository.
Okay.
Okay, local repository. Then how to create working directory, I'll tell you. Okay, it's a local repository. Your code you push to means you push from local, you pull to local. That's all. From local, you get others.
Okay.
To understand this better, let me tell you an interesting thing here. I was about to tell this. See, this local repository, this working directory are physically one and the same folder or same directory. Means It's the same folder in your system. Then why are you saying local repository and working directory? Because logically they are different. What is meant by that? How can you call the same folder working directory and how can you call the same folder local repository? Right? Let me explain you. See, this is your let's say this is your folder, okay, in your system, some folder or directory. For Windows person, it's a folder, or otherwise it's a directory. Okay, so now let's suppose you just created a file here. Okay, you just created a file in this folder, means you call that file is in the working directory. Okay, suppose in the same folder, after creating the file, if you run the command git add, then you say, yes, the file now goes to staging area. In the same folder, if you run the command, means if you run the command git commit, then the same file is set to be in the local repository. Making sense, everyone? Means let's take a simple folder, okay? Or else let's say, okay, you have copied from remote and you got local repository created. Now you went into that local and just created a new file. That's all. Means you say that file is in the working directory. Okay, let's say you run command git add now on the folder. How to run it on that particular directory, I'll show you. You will say it is in the staging directory. Later, if you run git commit, you will say it's in the local repository. Physically, it's the same folder or same directory. Logically, that's how it's different. Got it now? Any confusions?
Okay, by any chance, shall we be able to see the staging area when we do the git add? The
It is
area,
like a virtual layer. It's a
Mhm.
virtual layer. It's not a physical folder. But
Okay.
yes, you can see when your file is in staging area through messages. When you run git status, it will show you that it is in the staging area.
Oh,
You
okay.
will see all of that. Okay.
But basically, we cannot able to go into some other folder and we cannot able to
Mm-hmm.
see.
It's
Okay.
not a virtual. It's not a physical folder. It's a virtual layer.
Okay.
See, Git is very easy. Actually, initially, if you're a beginner, this architecture, this concept may be a bit confusing, but practice and learning with clarity will help you a lot. You can master Git very easily. These basics are very important. See, particularly with my experience, I want to tell you something. I see people working, experienced people, 3-year experience, 6-year experience people, they'll be working on Git. They'll do push, pull, everything. But when we ask in an interview, they don't understand the concepts, means they can't answer properly because they lack these concepts behind, like what is actually happening, how things are happening. They don't know. They just do pull, they just do push. Something went wrong, they'll approach someone else. That's all. If you learn the concept properly, you can answer any type of interview question. Also, you can troubleshoot the things when something goes wrong. So make sure you're clear with the concept.
Yeah, Preeti, one question. So in local, why we have these three instead of only working directly or something? So can I
See,
know?
like I said, right, this is 3 steps. It's called Git tree. 3 steps before your changes reaches remote. That's the architecture of Git. That's how you are having preview of your changes. That's how you control your changes. Otherwise, if it's like one folder, like how, see, the scenario will be like, I am having 10 files here. Only 5 files are completed. Other files are remaining. I cannot just the incomplete code also into local and remote. Project goes messed up. Right? How do you handle this? Got my point?
Okay, got it.
Yeah, so many things are there. For 5 files are there. I want to remove one file. I want to put one file back. Only 4 files I want to move later because after the
It's a
requirements.
It's a temporary area where we are maintaining the correct files in the staging area. And
Correct.
then
To have a better control on which changes go finally to local and then to remote, to have a precise value or precise review of the changes happening, you have this kind of architecture. This is called Git architecture or Git tree. And that's like a three steps before your changes moves to remote. That help you refine your code better, handle your code better.
okay.
So if everyone is clear with this concept, see, there might be a bit of blurriness. I can say, because this is all vague, we were just talking about it. Let's step in and see them practically, okay, so that you will get 100% clarity. So if everyone is clear, we shall go to the hands-on. Good to go. Any questions from anyone else? You can confirm me in the chat window also. A quick confirmation will help me. Thank you, Raghu, for confirming. Thank you, Sharon.
Is it same in AWS code commit as well, Priti?
See, AWS code commit also nothing but same version control system. It uses the same concept of version control system, but there you can handle multiple repositories. You can push the code to multiple repositories. You can handle the credentials better. It's a way to manage your code better. That's all. I mean, repositories better, I can say. If there are multiple repositories, you can handle them better.
And this
concept is same. Yes.
Okay,
Concept
Git add,
is same.
Git commit, Git push, Git pull.
Yeah.
All these are same.
Yes. Same. Different? Everything is same. Have you used a code commit, Kiran, from CLI?
No.
See, code commit works like a remote repository. Okay, still you from local you do the same and push to remote. It works like this remote repository. You're seeing this remote, right? It works like a remote repository. We'll come to that part. Okay. See, here we were talking about Git. I did not talk about GitHub. GitHub is different. What is GitHub and all we'll discuss. Okay, so if everyone is good with this, thank you all for confirming that this is all clear. Now let's get started with Git installation. Okay, now we understood Git. Let's install Git. See, first thing, Git works on multiple operating systems. It works on Windows. It works on Linux. It works on Mac. So it works on multiple operating systems. So later, don't worry that I don't know Linux. How do I use Git? I don't know Windows and all. It works on all operating systems, and Git commands are same throughout. Okay, the Git commands are same. Whether you use it on Windows or Linux or Mac, commands are same, concept is same, right? So where come the difference also you will see. Now let us install Git. See, till now we did not create our AWS account yet. Means why to create an AWS account and all we'll see. See, one more thing here is in the course, we will be going through the topics as per the requirement. It's not just because we have to learn AWS, let's go and create an account. When we have the requirement, we will get started with it so that you will know the purpose also, the actual purpose. Okay, as of now, we did not create it. We don't need it for now. So first, let us install Git. I believe majority of you might be having Windows or Mac. So let us install Git on your Windows. Just go to Google and type in install Git. See, I can provide you the installation link. They were there in the drive, but learn the process. Those links may change. So this is how you should do. Do install Git. You will see the official website, gitscm.com. Okay, this is the official reference for Git. Go to this website. By the way, you are seeing the screen, right? The web page, browser. Okay, good. So yeah, here you have Git installation, Git installing on Windows. If you want to install on Windows, depending on the distribution of your system, you can do it. Installing on Linux, depending on the distribution, you can do this. On Mac, steps were there. Similarly, on Windows. As of now, I'm doing it on Windows, or else you can go to this page, downloads. Okay, Mac, Linux, Windows, you can download the respective files. I'm doing it with Windows. Click here. Depending on the bits of your operating system. I believe you all know how to check the bits of your operating system. So depending on the bits, download that particular executable. See, it was downloaded. I'm just canceling it because I already have it. Once you download this executable, run the executable. As simple as that. Like you install any other software in your system, download it and run it. Can you all do that? Or like, do you need a demo on it? I believe you know how to do it, right? Just run the executable. And it will walk you through all the steps. Like it will ask you for confirmation on every step. There'll be a wizard opening. Anyway, those steps I have documented and placed in the drive. All the registered students might have got access to your drive, correct? So in the drive, you can see Git installation on Windows, all the steps. After you run the exe, you will get something like this. You have to navigate through, see, download it. This is executable. Run the executable and click on yes, next. That's all. Your Git will be installed in 2 minutes. That's all. Just keep hitting next. Keep hitting next. That's all. Right, complete Git installation process, you can finish. How to launch Git on Windows? Like once you install it, from your start menu, you will see something like Git. I already installed it, so I cannot do those steps again, but I have it, I believe. Yes. See, after installation, you will see this. I believe you all can do this from your end. Very simple. Right, if you are using Mac also, the same steps. Okay, you have the download, you can download the respective executable. Just go back to downloads, go here. Okay, you have a simple command, brew install git. That's all. Right, as simple as that. Now that I have installed Git, let me launch it. It's called Git Bash. Git Bash is nothing but which provides you some bash terminal to run the Git commands. Okay, so once Git is installed, if you want to check the version, you can check it. Like Git version. Okay, you can use this command to check the Git version. Git is successfully installed, right? So now, okay, let's version control something. See, first, I'm going to pick up this scenario. See, if you remember, we were discussing about 2 use cases, right? These 2, right? Local repository can be created in 2 ways. First one is, okay, already there is some remote repository. You create a copy of it and create a local repository, correct? The other one is, let's assume it's a new project. Okay, you have to create a local repository manually. Now, I would like to first take up this use case, second one. Meaning, I assume it's a new project. Okay, we were starting, let's say I'm starting Terraform implementation. Okay, there is no Terraform used in this project, so there is no remote work there. So I want to create a local repository manually, make the files, then create a remote by pushing the changes. Correct? Good to go? Yeah. So I'm taking, remember, understand, I'm taking the second use case here. So it's a new project, there's nothing on remote. Now let's go to Git Bash. So now I have to create a local repository. How do you create a local repository? And what is this local repository? I'm sorry. Okay. So how to create a local repository? So local repository is nothing but a folder where you want to put all your project work. Okay, I will show you from the GUI also, like from the Windows also doing it manually. See, let's say I want to maintain my repository here. Okay, it's nothing but a folder. You can go here, create a new folder. Let's say I want to put all my Terraform code. Okay, let's say TF. So this is the one I want to make a local repository. So what you should do, you should go to this folder. 1 second. You have to go inside this folder. Git Bash provides you with the CLI commands. Maybe if you are not comfortable with CLI, you can do this way. You create a folder first. Now go to that folder. How do you go to the folder? CD command, change directory. See, these are the Linux basic commands, but we do use it on Windows, like from your command prompt or from this Git Bash. This is how you can use. CD means change directory. Okay, we are trying to move to that directory, right? So now we are in this TF directory. Now this is the TF folder I want to make a local repository. Means go to the folder, whichever you want to make a local repository. Means this is the folder where I want to create my files, create my Terraform files, whatever it is. So go to that folder and run the command git init. What is meant by git init? Initialize git. Initialize git means start git. So if you do this, then this TF folder becomes a local repository. Right. So this is how you can create an empty local repository, bare local repository, we can say. Later on, you can put the files here, means later on, whatever files you create here, will be version controlled by Git. Right? There's a small Linux command, change directory, Git bash uses those Linux commands. Like this is how you can do. Even directory also you can create this way, but some of you might be new to Linux. So we'll go through it step by step. First do this way, right? So run the command. When you do this, what happens? There is a hidden folder .git created. You are not seeing this. Just go to view. Okay, see the hidden files. There should be an option. Okay, do you see that? Okay, in the Windows system, you may check it from the folder this way or from the CLI this way. How do you check the files in a folder? ls-a. ls-a will show the hidden folders. See? Or else, if you are new to ls commands and all, you just do this way. No worries. Okay, I'll teach you those commands separately. Making sense, everyone? Anyone lost? Confusion? Particularly who are new to this CLI and all. Clear? Working with CLI this way is always preferable in real time. Why and all we'll discuss when we start Linux. Clear till this part?
Yes, Preeti.
A confirmation will help me, a quick confirmation in the message, or you can unmute. Yeah, so this is a local repository now created. Fine, I have got local repository. Now let's create some files. Okay, you may just create some files in this TF folder now. So let's say I'm just creating some files. New file, you can create this way. Or else, if you want to do it from CLI, touch command, touch, let's say file 1. See, I'm just creating some text files, that's all. Text file because, see, we didn't learn Terraform yet now, we didn't learn Kubernetes. So I'm just creating a text file. First, learn how to version control them. Then we will use the real files. Okay. So I'm just creating a touch command will create you a file. See here at the back end, you notice the back end file is created. Okay. So I just want to make some changes in this. Okay. It was a simple notepad. Let's say this is my first file. Okay. So save it and close it. Done. I have created some file and made some changes. So is Git tracking it? Is Git tracking this or not? How do I know? You can check if Git is tracking this or not with a command called git status. By the way, I just created the file. Can you tell where is this file now? TF is the local repository. TF is the working directory. TF is everything, right? That's only one and only folder. Now I just created a file. Can you just guess and tell me where is this file 1? We already discussed creating a file. I just created a file. Where is it?
Working directory.
Working directory.
Exactly. It's in a working directory. But let's see git status. See, what is git status telling us? See, git status is saying ignore these two. We'll talk about branches later. See, untracked file means, okay, Git know there is a file. Okay, Git knows there is a file, but Git is not tracking it. Why it's not tracking? Because it's asking us to add it. Means it is asking us to add. Means where is this file now?
Working directory.
Working, it's very simple. Means if you don't know where is the file, whether it is in working directory or staging area, local repository, this message will help you. This message will explain you where is this file. It is asking us to add. Means it's in the working directory. Okay, fine. It is asking us to add. Let's add it. Git add, you have to put the file name. That is the actual command. Now if I run this, let's see. Okay, I have added it. Now again check the status. Yes, see, it was not saying untracked. If it is a new file, if you did not add it, then it will show like untracked. This is also very important because you should understand when it will show as untracked, when it will show as this message. You should understand these messages. See, now it is in changes to be committed. To be committed means where is it? Let's say, see, always keep this architectural diagram in your mind. Compare it with your, keep this architectural diagram in your mind and relate with this diagram always. Where is it now?
Staging area.
Everyone, I want answers from everyone. If you can't speak out, you can also put the message.
It's currently in the staging area. You have to commit it to send it to.
Yeah, it is in the staging area. So now what it is saying, it is also saying changes to be committed. Okay, what you have to do, simply git commit, okay, -m, some message, okay, some reasonable message. You should put this message is very important. This message, after some days, it should tell you what this commit is all about. Like, let's say you have made some Terraform changes for creating EC2 instance. So you have to put, okay, EC2 instance created with this change. So that you understand what this change is for. For now, because it's just a sample changes, first comment done. See, for me, it says it is done. Now, if you do git status, nothing to commit. Means whatever in the local, whatever in the working directory was all staged and committed. So if everything is staged and committed, this is how it will show. Now my changes are in the local repository. Understood how your changes move from working directory to staging and from staging to local? Interesting, isn't it?
Yes, Preeti.
Interesting. And why are you using -m after git commit?
Oh, okay. See, this is the message flag. Okay, message is mandatory. When you commit, providing the message is mandatory. -m for message. This is mandatory. Like I told you, right? After some couple of days, if you want to refer the commits, this message will tell you what it is all about. -m for message.
So do you want, is it a practice to mention second file, third file, fourth file like that?
No, like I already told you, this message should be like a comment. After some days, when you see the comment, you understand what this commit is all about. Okay, this commit is all about changes on EC2 instance, something like that. You put a reasonable comment there. Because these are sample changes, I have given like first file and all. Okay, this is your own user defined. You can put any message of your own. The message should be reasonable, understandable at a later point of time. It should give you some message about the changes going in that commit. Clear, everyone? Understood?
Yes, Preeti.
See, ls is again a Linux command. ls will show you the list of the files in this particular folder. There is another command, git ls files. Git ls files will show you files in the local repository. See, TF folder is the local repository. The CMTF folder is the working directory, right?
Preeti,
So,
suppose I want to see how many commit happens on the same file within the local.
We will see those things. I'll show you. Okay. Let me give much iteration on this, thorough revision on this. Okay, I will go to the next command. Here I would like to tell you one more thing. Practice this CLI. Okay, just this one. Touch command, CD command, ls commands. Those are the just few commands we have used. Simple, right? So do the hands-on every day. Okay, every day we'll get to the new commands. Before we proceed, I would like to tell you one more thing. If you are running this commit command for the first time in your system, because I am already using it, it doesn't prompt me. It will ask you to provide your email ID and username. It will give you the command also. It will give you a message like where it will show you the commands. You can copy the command and paste it like git config user.email. Put your email ID. Similarly, another command git config user.name, so that it can track your changes with those names. For me, it will not ask because already I'm using it. Remember that. Don't worry, when you are committing, it will ask you those steps. Execute them. Okay. See, before I go to the next command and the concept, I would like to reiterate these things. Shall we repeat the same with another file so that it should be clear for all? It should be 100% clear. Yeah. See, I'm creating one more file. How to create a file? Touch. You can use other Vim editors and all. I'll take you through those also. As it is our day one, just go with the touch command. Okay, file is created. You can edit in the CLI also, but for simplicity for new people, I'm just doing this way. Here it might be your Terraform configurations. Okay, it might be your Kubernetes manifest files. Now I'm just writing a dummy lines. Don't think that why are these lines and all. You may, if you know Java or any scripting, any programming, you can use it. My idea is not to teach the changes or configurations now, just to learn version controlling. So placing some dummy lines. So file is created, ls, see second file, but git ls files. See, file 2 is not there. Why file 2 is not there in git ls files? Where is file 2?
Commit is not done.
Yeah, where is file 2?
Working
Is it
directory.
in the working directory?
Working directory.
Working directory, right? Okay, fine. But let's see the status as well. Confirm it with status. See, untracked means Git is not tracking it. Git knows there is a file, but it will not track it. Why? It will track it only when you add it. See, it's saying file 2 is there. It's asking us to add. So git add file 2. Now again, check the status. See, changes to be committed. Okay, fine. Git is tracking it. Changes to be committed. What should I do now? Where is the file now?
File is in staging, so we have to commit it.
Git commit -m for message. Give your own message. Let's say this Terraform change is for Terraform changes. We know it's a Terraform file. Let's suppose. Okay, it's for changing the region of EC2. Some changes happen. Something like that. Okay, you put a meaningful message there. For me, the dummy change. So let's say I'll put second file. Done. Now ls, 2 files. Git ls files also shows the 2 files, right? So 2 files were there because it was into the local repository. Also git status will show me now everything is clean. Working tree, that's what I'm saying. Git tree, we call it as a git tree. Working tree is clean, correct?
Preeti, sorry to interrupt actually. When I'm doing git commit, okay, -m. So the message what I'm getting is author other identity unknown. Author identity unknown. Please tell me who you are.
That's what I told you, right? Some time back. Just now I'm saying. It will ask you for your username and password. You have to run git config. It will provide you the commands also.
I missed it actually. Can you please repeat it once?
You have to do git config,
Okay.
user dot email, user dot name. Here provide the email name. Because Git want to track which person is making those changes locally. And see, remember one thing, we were still on local. We were still working on this local repository. We did not go to remote yet. Okay, forget about remote for some time. We have many things to learn on local. Once we learn the local, we will push to remote and learn about remote. Okay, fine. Okay, now I have got 2 files. I made a couple of commits. What if I want to see the history of all the commits, history of all the changes I have done? Git log. Git log command. I told you right in the beginning, Git will provide you a detailed logging. So git log command will provide you the history of the commits and the details. See here, I made 2 commits. Every commit will generate a unique commit ID like this. Do you see this? Yeah, it will provide you a unique commit ID, a hash code you can say. And see the commit message, the date when you made the changes, Monday, June 26, 8:31 you made this change. This one was made at 8:25, history of the commits. And of course, because I didn't put my email and all, it was showing this way. Otherwise, if you put the name, it will show your name and email ID here, right? Also, if you want to see only a brief log, not a detailed log, I just want a simple log. Git log, 1 line. See, only first 7 characters are enough to refer to a particular commit. So it was showing only the first 7 characters. Okay. And then the message. Right. So that's a log command, and that's how you can see the history of the commits. You can also check the log of a particular file, like git log file1.txt. Means I want to see only commits on this particular file. See, on this file only this is the commit done. See, that's how it means. See, every command in Git will have multiple flags, multiple options. No one will learn all of them. Not possible, not required also. Then how do you use those different options? I will explain what is this head, master, everything. Okay. Anand will go through them step by step. Okay, when we start branching, we'll talk about it. So I'm saying every command will have, you can use many flags. To see that, git log help, give the help command. Okay, that will show you the complete manual. See, because it's a Windows, 1 second, it was giving me this. Can you see that? It has given me a prompt and it was opening this browser for me, manual page. Right? See git log, how to use it, examples, different options, git follow, git no decorate, or if you want to decorate that log with some options, right? Or else if you want to see the log only from a particular start and end dates, or else on a particular file, so many options and the documentation. See, so many of you want to see the log of only a particular directory, so many things are there. You don't need to learn all of them. Remember, you don't need to memorize them. This is how you use any command in Git for that matter. If you use help, if it is a Linux machine, it will show you here in the CLI itself, or else it will launch a browser this way. Right? That's how you can see different flags depending on your requirement. You can use them. Some explanation on how it's working, everything you have. A detailed log. See git log, show commit logs. Synopsis, how to use it, options and the ranges, sub commands you can do. Okay. Finally, we have two files. See the same, this is the local repository. If you see hidden files, the .git will be there. Remember one more thing. Whenever you see a folder with the .git folder, means let's say you see some folder, it's having .git. It means that understand it's a local repository, right? You can make your changes there, make modifications, push the changes to remote or not. That's a local repository. Local repository will always have .git folder. And here local repository is created. How we created? Did we copy from remote or locally? How did we create this local repository today?
Locally.
Like manually, right? Using git init command, git initialize. So that it initialize git. It initialize git means what is meant by that? Whatever files you are going to place here will be version controlled by git. Correct?
Okay.
Right. So, yeah.
So Preeti, like each and every time from working directory to staging, I have to particularly mention a file name, git add followed by the file name. Otherwise,
yes.
Okay, if I have 5 different files on my working directory, I have to specifically mention git add of file number 3, file 3 and .txt or Terraform or whatever.
See, if you have multiple files, okay, you can add git file1.txt, file2.txt, specific files if you want, or else if you want all of them, you can do git add dot. Dot means all. It will add all the files in your working directory to staging area.
Oh, okay, got it.
Or else file name separated by spaces.
Okay, got it.
Okay. If everyone is clear till this part, I'll go for the next interesting scenario. Can I go ahead? Okay.
Priti, one second.
So,
What are the steps we have covered till now? Will be providing any document kind of that so that we'll be practicing like it.
Yes. See, already whoever registered students might have got access to the drive. Have you all got access to this drive, registered students? See, here you have all the folders with the commands and everything. You have sample resumes, everything. If you go to Git here, yes, you have the presentation, the architectural diagram, which I have explained, as well as you have the installation document, the Git hands-on commands, whatever commands we were executing, all the hands-on commands were there here. Okay. And some additional references on Git as well. Okay, when you are watching the recording, you can go through the recording, keep the document with you and do the hands-on.
Fine, thank you.
Okay, so yeah, let's take up a interesting scenario now. Till now, what are we doing? We created two different, we have created two new files, right? We have created file 1 and file 2. Always it's not about creating a new file, right? We may have to modify the file. We may have to delete the file, isn't it? So first let's take up, okay, I want to modify the file, make some changes, isn't it? It need not be always a new file. I want to make some changes. Fine, let's make some changes to file 1. Okay, let's go to this folder, file 1. And let's say it might be some change there. Okay, I have made some changes. Now, can you tell me where are those changes? Where is that modification?
Staging area.
Modification. I made some modification. Let's see. See, changes not staged. What is meant by that? Where is the modification?
Working directory.
Working directory.
Modification is the working directory. Means what is the point to note here? See, Git, remember this. Git, always remember this. Git works with respect to changes. Change means in terms of Git, change means it could be creating a new file. It could be deleting a file. It can be a modification, whatever it is a change in a Git. Git works with respect to changes, and any change in Git will go to working directory first, then to staging area, then to local. Got it? So any change, it might be a new file, it might be a deleting a file, it might be modifying, whatever it is, it will be first in the working directory, then in the staging area and the local. But changes, the message is changes are not staged. Means what are the changes? Changes are not staged means unstaged changes. Correct? But earlier, if you remember, when I create file 1, it was shown like untracked change. What is the difference between untracked and unstaged? This could be also an interview question to check your understanding on the concepts. So what is an untracked change? What is an unstaged change?
Untracked means like Git might not track the particular file. Unstaged means Git might tracking the file but not staged as of now.
Means like, what is it? When does this
So
scenario come
basically, yeah, untracked is something wherein we have missed to add it, and then we have missed to commit it basically.
See, untracked will show for the particularly for the new file.
New file. Correct.
Means yes, the file is not at all in the staging area. Unstaged is it's not a new file. File is already there in the staging area.
Correct.
Right?
But the
Not a
changes
new
are
one.
yet to be committed.
File is already there in the staging area. Already there in the staging. But changes, modifications were not staged. Certain changes were not staged. File is staged. But there were certain changes which were not staged. Then you can't say it was untracked. You have to say unstaged. That's the difference. That's how you have to interpret this message. It was saying changes not staged. That's all. So what you have to do when changes are not staged?
Git commit.
But you have to add, right?
Add.
Git, you have to add it. Then you have to commit it. I mean, later, of course, you have to commit it. So here, if it is unstaged, you can do it with a single command like git commit -a -m some message. -a means add and commit. Only for unstaged changes, you can do it together. Otherwise, if it is untracked, you have to do separately only. You can't do that way. But in this case, you can do either ways. You can do it separately, or else with a single command also you can do for unstaged changes. Making sense, everyone? If it is unstaged, you can add and commit separately or with a single command this way. But if it's untracked, you have to do separately add and commit. Got it right?
Got it.
So anyway, we have used add and commit separately. This time, git commit -a means add and commit. Let's say file 1 modified. Something like that. Right? Done. Now, if you see the status, yes, it's all clean. Of course, modification was also staged. Okay, git status. If you check the content of the file, if you want to see what changes were there, yeah, you can check the contents. You have both the lines. You can also check the contents from the CLI, which is always preferable from CLI. Cat command. Cat will show you the contents of the file. Simple. Got it right, everyone? So that's the difference between unstaged and untracked changes. Simple. I just want to show you one more scenario before we wind up here. Let's take up another scenario, another interesting command. I'm going to create a new file. Okay, it will be kind of a revision for you. I'm just sorry, not a folder. Let me create a file. Okay, simple text files I'm creating. Okay, now I would just like to add something here. Right. So just like any other file. Okay, what would be the status now? Can you give me what would be the message now?
Untracked file 3.
So yes, exactly, untracked. So where is this file?
Working directory.
Working directory. So
In
I
directory.
just want to stage it. So file 3. Where is the file now?
It's at the staging area.
Staging area. Okay, now I want to commit the changes. Git commit -m. The message would be like, okay,
File 3.
new file, whatever, yeah, file 3 or new file, done. Everything is done, clean. Okay, just created another file, nothing much. Okay, but now I would like to show you something here. There is another command called git diff. Git diff file name. You can run it on any file, just showing you a new file. Git diff command will show you any unstaged changes on this file. Everything was staged, right? So there is nothing. There is another command called git diff with a staged flag, which will show you staged changes are also not there because it's all committed, correct? So these are the two commands. Git diff file name will show you unstaged changes. Git diff with a staged flag will show you staged changes on this file. I would like to make a small change here. Like I would like to make some modifications to this file. Now tell me, where is this modification?
In working directory.
See
We
here,
need to add
git
it.
diff.
We need to add it first, then commit.
Correct. It is in the working directory. We have to add it. But now see, git diff, that command will show you the unstaged changes. Do you see this? Unstaged changes, new file for configs, and then these are the unstaged changes, right? At the same time, if you use, I just want to show you these commands. So staged changes, nothing was staged, right? Okay, fine. Unstaged changes were there on this file. Now what I have to do to remove this, I mean, to add these changes, I have to add it. Okay. What I'll do is I will add the file, git add file 3. Okay, now if you see git diff, see no unstaged changes, but there were staged changes. The same thing was shown under staged, correct? Now what I'll do is, what I have to do to move the changes to local?
You have to give commit.
Yeah, commit. But what I'm doing, I'm making one more modification. Okay. Now, what would be the git diff file 3 will show? Is it having any unstaged change or not?
Yes, we have the third line. What
Third line is unstaged.
Unstaged. Yeah.
Right? See here, new file for, sorry, this one. Where is this? What is the line we had? Another new line, right? And staged command. See, it is having some staged changes. It is having some unstaged changes as well. See, unstaged changes showing here. Staged changes were also shown here. Do you see that? Means the same file can have some of the stage, some of them could be staged, some of them could be unstaged. Got it? This could be the scenario. Means I have made some modifications, added them. Later on, I may be still modifying it, which will be unstaged. The point to note here is, at the same time, the same file may have some changes staged, some changes unstaged. Simple logic. After making some changes, I have added it. And then again, I'm modifying it. Unstaged change, stage, both changes will be there. At that point, if you do status, you should not get confused. See here, changes to be committed. What is meant by that? Where are the changes?
The second line, whatever we added.
No, I'm talking where is it? Is it in the staging area or local
Staging.
Staging area. Changes not staged means where are the changes?
Working directory.
Working, see, same file. File 3 is shown under staging area. File 3 is shown under unstaged area, like working directory. So don't get confused this way. This is possible. Right, this could be the scenario. Otherwise, when you see this in your project, you should not be confused. Yeah, there are chances. Some of the changes on the same file are staged. Some of them may not be unstaged.
You mean few lines in the file is committed and few lines in the file is not committed. This is what
right. Right. Not exactly committed. See, first line is committed. Second line is only staged. Third line is not at all staged. It is in working directory. This one is in local. First line is in local. This is in the staging area. This is in the working directory.
So all three can be possible on the same file.
Possible. Okay. That's what the same folder, TF folder. Logically, they were different. It's a working directory, staging area, local repository. Correct?
Got it. Okay.
So now, like if I want to put everything staged and commit, I can do this. Git commit, add and commit, like new file modifications.
Pretty, I'm not sure whether it is a relevant question to this one or no. These code will be inserted in Git that will be done by developers, right? Like we're not into that one, right? We're not into, writing code and keeping the in Git. Everything will be taken care by developers only, right?
Yeah.
We're just building the CI/CD pipeline between Git and these things, right? Like we're just for knowledge perspective, we're learning these things, right?
No, not for knowledge perspective. I told you in the beginning. Have you joined late, Kiran?
Yes.
Okay, I explained this already, but let me check. Can anyone answer his question? Just to check if you know the answer or everyone is still having the same question. Why do a DevOps person learn these things? Anyone?
Yes, Kiran, actually, not only the code files from a developer perspective, even as a DevOps guy, we may have a configuration file based on Terraform or else a Kubernetes, whatever we have a configuration file also, sometimes we have to log and keep track, right? For that, DevOps person should know this Git, how to handle a Git tracking and logging purpose in perspective of configuration things. Not only on the coding things.
Correct.
Right?
Yeah.
See,
coding files will be taken care by the developers, whereas the config files pertaining to the DevOps activity, where Git is required. That is something need to be taken care by the DevOps person.
Correct.
Preeti, to me, it seems like all the code, source code, right? You will be hosting on the hosted platform like GitHub or something. Yeah. From there, your CI tool will pull the code. So you have to have an idea like which branches you want to
okay, let me answer all these questions. The first thing is everyone should learn this Git version control system. Not only developers, testers should learn it, DevOps teams should learn it, any other admins also should learn it, right? Because the reason is, okay, developer application code will be written by developers, they will manage their code, fine. We have a Terraform config files, Kubernetes config files, Ansible playbook, Jenkins file, pipeline, which will hold the pipeline. Even all those config files also should be version controlled. Because see, let's say I wrote a Jenkins file, which will execute the pipeline. Tomorrow I need a modifications. I need to maintain versions of my Jenkins file. I need to share that file with the team. right? Correct, Kiran, are you there? So everyone should learn this version control system, versioning your code, backing up your code. Everyone should learn code in the sense it need not be code like a developer. It could be any config file you have to version control. Okay, that's the first thing. Next thing is developer will put the code in their repo. We have to pull that and create a pipeline. For that, you just need to learn pull and push. To collaborate in the pipeline, to integrate in the pipeline, you don't need this kind of how to version your files and all. There pull and push will be enough. But to manage even your code base in the sense Terraform, manifest files and all, right? You need this version control system. Clear?
Yeah, it's clear. Thank you.
Hope that answers everyone's questions, right? Still no one is there confused why we are learning it. It's not just developer. Yes, they will write their code. This is for our manifest file. That's why I'm using. I want to show you it could be any file, a simple text files you may have to configure it. So this is all about today's just the day one session. All the commands will be there in the drive. Don't leave the session. I'm going to launch a quiz for you with whatever things we have learned, the basic concepts on Git. So stay back. Okay, the commands are there in the drive. The recording will be available in a couple of minutes. Okay, you are given with a YouTube channel, right? You are provided with the YouTube playlist. There all the videos will be uploaded. You can watch it. They'll be accessible for all the registered students. Okay, and do the hands-on. Before coming to the next session, I want everyone to do the hands-on. You might be already using it, but still revise your Git architecture. Just revise the concepts once, right? Even though you are working professional, you are already experienced in it, just do a quick revision. Okay. And I'm launching a quiz for you with basic questions on Git. Just go over it. Any more questions before I go for the quiz? Any questions? Anything should I repeat? Everyone clear?
Preeti, I would just request you to repeat that config related part of it, because commit is not working on my side actually, just because that config thing hasn't happened.
Can you share the screenshot in the WhatsApp, Sumant? You
Yeah,
have
yeah,
the
sure.
group already, right? The
Yeah,
other
yeah.
share me so that I
I'll do
can
that.
respond. Yeah. Okay, I'm launching the quiz. Also share your email IDs for the access to the drive for your hands-on. Share your email IDs on this Zoom chat. Okay, and whoever have completed your registration, you are all there in the WhatsApp group. Check your access to the website also for all the class. Like your LMS is on the website. On our website, you have the LMS access. Check your access, drive access, everything. Share your email IDs here, whoever did not get access. I'm launching the quiz now. So in this class, 77% of you are new to version control systems, and whoever were into version control system, majority are using it. Okay, thanks for this queries. Thanks for answering this. And
Preeti, I have one quick question before we jump into a quiz session. For an example, like on the working directory, I have some changes on a file 2, file 1 and 3 having a complete commit. Okay. I mean, otherwise, let's take a scenario. File 2 is having some changes. File 3 also having some changes. Okay. So if I give a command, git commit of a specific file name could be possible from a working directory, or if I give git commit without mentioning a file name, both the files will be committed at a time, or how it
yeah,
works?
see git commit command. Generally, if you use this commit command, whatever in the staging area will be committed. Or else if you
Oh,
want
okay.
to commit a particular file, you can provide the file name here.
File
Git
name.
commit, yeah, file name, then -m and the message.
And the flag values. Okay, okay, fine.
But generally we prefer this way. That's what we have staging area to control what should go. Better
Okay,
you control it at the staging area itself rather than committing with the file name.
Got it. Okay, okay. Thank you.
Yeah, you can go through the quiz, answer the queries, and let's check our understanding in this session. Those are very basic queries. Have you all got the questions?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Preeti, hello Preeti. Hello.
I'm sorry. Yeah, please tell me.
Actually, we didn't discuss regarding the Git commit history automatically deleted. Is it? It will be deleted for every 2 weeks or 3 months?
Yeah, the idea of giving those questions is just think and answer it. We'll discuss those questions. What do you think? Will it be deleted? So
They were automatically related.
So just think and answer it. We'll discuss after the question.
Okay.
Preeti, Pawan here. Mine got vanished somehow. I was answering the questions and it got vanished. Is it possible to resend that?
I have to relaunch the quiz again, Pawan. Like you have to scroll down slowly. Otherwise, when you give enter, it might be like going to submission. Okay, I'll relaunch the quiz at the end, then take up the session once again, like the quiz.
Okay. Okay, sure. Thanks.
Yeah.
Preeti, just one question.
Yes.
On the specific quiz section, let's say if I answer all the quiz, and when you are reviewing and explaining the correct answers, by the time if I don't remember what option I chose, I will not be able to track what was my answer, whether it was correct or something. So is there any some sort of way to see what was my answer submitted and what is the correct one, so that I can focus on those?
We'll work on it. We'll check on it, Santosh.
Okay.
Preeti, can you provide these questions us also?
Yes, we'll provide them. Okay, we'll try to add them in the drive. They were not added. We'll try to put it. You have 3.5 minutes more to finish.
These quiz questions are also available in the G Drive document.
Not as of now. I'll add
Okay.
it. Okay, we'll try to
Yeah,
put all of
because
this in the drive as well.
some questions when we see it, it would be better to have the hands-on and
Sure.
make a try. Yeah, thank you.
Priti, are you missing? Are you typing something? I missed your voice.
Sorry?
Are you typing something? I have a network glitch here, so I missed your voice.
No, no.
So you are giving time to complete that text, right?
Yeah. It's a time up now. I'm ending this poll and we'll discuss the queries. Give me a second.
Okay.
I believe you all can see the results, right?
Yes, Priti.
And can you all see the right answers as well? So what is Git? Majority of you have answered correctly. Tool to maintain versions of the code. Okay, some of you have answered a different thing. Just recheck whoever answered this. Tool to configure your infrastructure. No, there were tools to configure an infrastructure which is Ansible, and tool to provision the infrastructure is Terraform. So Git has nothing to do with the infrastructure. And the next thing is which type of version control system is Git? Git is a distributed version control system. Again, majority of you answered this. Some of you answered it centralized. It's not centralized, and it cannot work like both centralized and distributed. It is a distributed version control system. Okay, that's why we have local and remote repository. Two repositories you have. Everyone will have a copy of their own local repository. So Git is a distributed version control system. And the third question is which tools below
Madam,
are
your
distributed?
screen, Preeti, your screen is not, only participant screen is visible.
I think I'm sharing the, have you all got that poll results?
Yet.
Okay, not
Yes.
seeing my screen.
Preeti, I think you are right. The questions and the correct answer is being displayed at the moment. So that is what you are showing, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so that's fine.
Can
Only
you,
That's what I was
once
expected
again,
actually.
can you please again share? Actually, I closed, I think.
Even I lost that page. Now can you see that? I'm showing you the quiz results with the right answer. You should be seeing the page
Yes.
where which shows the questions with the
Yes.
right answers.
Correct.
Whoever
Correct.
has answered the questions, only those people can see their screen actually, or else there will be blank.
You are seeing the correct answer at the bottom. Can you see the
Yeah,
correct answer?
actually, whatever I have answered, reviewed the questions. I currently am reviewing them on my screen.
Can you see the screen now? And the
Yes, yes.
questions?
Yes,
And the
yes, yes.
questions?
Screen
Okay.
screen is
Okay, so the next question is which tools below are distributed in architecture? It is only Git. Okay, I want to make a correction. I told you Git Perforce also. No, Perforce is also a centralized one. That's my bad. It was only Git. Git, Mercurial, and Fossils are distributed in architecture. Okay.
So
So only Git is
only one
distributed.
option is correct, right, Preeti?
Huh?
Yeah, that's
Only one
correct.
option is correct.
Correct. Only one option, Git. All others
Okay.
are centralized only. Okay.
Okay,
Git,
okay.
Mercurial, Fossils will be distributed. Everything else are centralized. Okay.
Yeah, the
Not
question was saying
Perforce.
multiple choice, so I was
So
got
yeah, I
confused.
will correct it. I will correct it. And then
Sure,
Git,
sure.
GitHub are same. No, they were not same. Okay, we didn't discuss this, but just to check some of the questions I have given, which we'll be discussing coming forward, like maybe tomorrow. So Git, GitHub are not same. So again, majority of you are correct here. And what is the command to get the installed version of Git? How do you check the version? Git version command. Okay, Git hyphen version, like double hyphens. So this was also majority of you answered it correctly. And what is the command to initialize Git on the current repository? It is Git init, right? It's not Git initialize, it is only Git init. We say it is initializing Git repository, but the actual command is Git init. Okay, and then Git automatically adds new files to the repository and starts tracking them. No, automatically it will not add, right? We have to add it. So yeah, majority of you said it was false, which is true. Whoever gave answer as true, please check your answers. It was false. The answer was false. Git commit history is automatically deleted. The Git commit history will never be automatically deleted. 78% of you have answered correctly. It will not delete automatically. Every 2 months or every 3 months, every year also it will not. You have to delete it if you want. How to do that also we'll discuss. See, the major purpose of version control is it should maintain log, right? We may need a log at any point of time, right? We may need the history of the commits we did. So it will never be deleted automatically. We have to delete if you want. And the next one is what is the command to commit the staged changes from for the Git repository? Obviously Git commit. And then what is the command to commit the message first file? Like that's a message you want to give. So how do you commit? Git commit -m. See, always commit command should have -m flag mandatory. You cannot ignore -m. So the second one is obviously wrong. It's having only -a flag. This will not work. Every other command is not having -m flag, which will not work. If you are adding -a, it could be -a, -m, but not just -a or -a, whatever you call it. And then the next 11th question is what is the command to view the history of commits for the repository? We already learned it. It's a git log. There is nothing like git full log. Git log will show you detail log. If you just want a brief log, what is the command for brief log? Just a simple log if you want to see. Yes, anyone? We have discussed
Git
this.
log. It's Git log -- one line.
One line will show you just a brief log.
Yep.
Log itself will show you a detail log. There's nothing like full log. And then the 12th question, what is the command to see the available options for the commit command? Available options are like how to see for any command. Help flag, right? I have shown you for log command. A manual will open where you can see the description, all other options you can provide. So it's a git commit help command. For any command, help is the flag. And the 13th question is after you install Git and prior to issuing the first commit, which two configuration properties does the tool expected to be configured? This is what username and email address. Like I told you in the class, it will prompt for username and email ID with which it has to track. Whenever it's showing log, it will show you the author name and the email ID. That's the reason username and email ID have to be provided. And the 14th question is after you initialize a new Git repository and create a file name index, what are the commands? Which of the following commands will not work if issued? Git add index.html, git status, git add dot, git commit -m, create a file called index. Which of the following commands will not work if issued? Which will not work? Add will work, right? Because you have to do add. Git add dot will also work. The question is which will not work. Git status will also work because you can check the status. So what was the incorrect thing here? Git commit command will not work. Right? Immediately after you initializing and creating a file, first 3 commands will work, but the last one will not work, isn't it? Unless you add and commit, then only commit will work, correct? So the answer is the 4th option. And the last question is, what is the shortcut to stage all the changes we have? Like whatever is there in your working directory, if you want to stage all of them, it should be git add dot. Dot means it will add everything. There is no git commit dot, git commit add and all. Why there were all random answers? Have you just answered randomly without reading? Because all other commands are very clear. They were all incorrect.
Actually, I was in a perception there are only 10 questions, so I submitted. So there
Okay.
are 15.
It's
I'm not
okay. We'll
scrolled
try
down.
to put these polls or a quiz from tomorrow onwards onto Google so that you can see your own results. Okay, that may be better. Zoom is not providing that option, I believe. All right then. So that's all for today. We shall continue from here tomorrow. Anything else from anyone? We'll make sure these will be available on Google as well. Okay. Can you see your own results, Raghu? 12 correct. Are you seeing your own results? Like how many are correct? Oh, are you seeing it?
Even I could see it, but I couldn't see the numbers, exact results as such, but I could see what went correct and what went wrong. Actually.
Okay, can you just
It was-
post that screenshot of like how you were seeing in the WhatsApp group so that I can see
the
like
screen
how
has
results
gone
were
now.
shown?
That screen has gone now. Actually.
Okay. It's fine. It's okay. If you are seeing like what are all correct, what are all incorrect from your and your own results, that's fine. For me, I'm seeing a collective results, not an individual result.
Yesterday it wasn't visible.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yesterday actually we were expecting this thing to be flashed actually and asked like what went correct, but it happened.